Alright, we're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Okay, let's do the Abyss, the Fall Girls mold first, because that one we have like an hour left to play for today at least. Click through our dailies. So I think for simulcasting, I would have to make a separate broadcast per game that we switch to, which is a bit awkward. But that means like when we simulcast, it's usually for like relevant permanent content that we actually want to archive. So Genshin Story, Star Rail Story. And stream on both platforms hard. It's not that hard. I downloaded an add-on, a plugin for OBS, because otherwise I would just use XSplit, and XSplit, it's really easy on XSplit because I already have the sources set up. The only thing on XSplit is I have to recreate my scenes, which I'm too lazy to do. So I checked to see if there was like a plugin for OBS, and there was. And so the only thing hard now, it's not even hard, it's just time consuming, is making sure I set like the stream data for YouTube. Hope I get the easy matches. I hope I get the easy games. This one doesn't look easy at all. How did you miss? Hey, look at that. Number 2. Oh, number 3. Somebody got me. Nice. Nice. Wow. We were so close. Kevin is so cringe, man. It is. Kevin is cringe. This one again? okay just farming number 2. That is 99% what I do as well, Pyroraptor. Well, actually, I 99% like 10 runs Unga Bunga, and then I look up a ref when I'm really, really desperate. Oh, I love this one. This one I like. I can just maintain a few more top 2 finishes, top 3, top 4 finishes. Good to go. Oh, I missed! That's very bad. I got way too greedy there. Hope I could still get like top 3 out of this. Top 3. Hey, Akame. Lilo and Stitch! Not on Twitch! Hey man, how's it going? Nice of you to stop by. Oh! Lilo on both! Riku, yeah, we pushed a little bit on Saturday. I might have done some off stream yesterday. You still have like a day left, right, Riku? To try to push for the 5K. Right now, it's just like I just need to get maps that I'm good at. Like not this one. I like this one a little bit better. Did this one ever have forward sprint? Was it always the super jump? Oh, a bunch dropped out. Oh. Farming number 2s. I don't need to be number 1. Just need to be good enough. Your doctor tells you to farm more number 2s, and he probably tells you to eat more fiber too, so your number 2s happen smoothly, right? So you gotta eat your greens, man. Yeah, that's what happens when you get older, Akame. You start paying attention to all the vegetables that you require. Raisin Bran, make sure you just remember to get lettuce. Just get some lettuce or cabbage or anything. Bai cai, qing cai, tomatoes. Need more plant matter. Oh, big whiff. Wow. The timing on that one. It was so close. Where are we at now? Oh, just one more. What if I lose points on this next one? If you're not first, you're last. Oh yeah, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. You ain't first, you're last. Shake and bake. That's how it feels sometimes in Myriad. You can't let that poison your mindset. You have to enjoy the game for yourself first before you do the competitive stuff. Alright, chat. 5K for the 3rd time. Well, 5th time. Because we did the grind the last 2 times we did it on NA too. What is it? Asma always says, winners win. Winners win. Alright, chat. We finally got our number 1, and it was that one that pushes us over 5K. GG. Andy, psycho, yeah. Yeah, if you have anywhere over 5K, you basically are a psycho. Wow. I'm actually not that far off. Only 1,000, 1,400. Airsoft. Germ. Of course Germ would still mold this. But yeah, I'm doing good. 5K is good enough for me. I saw another video from the beginning of this year of another player who complained about open world, like all the problems with each open world. I was like, yeah, it's kind of true. There's a weird part of it. It's like, you know that there's all these old issues with the game, but you know that they don't have a, ooh, nice. They don't have enough resources. Oh shoot, that reminds me. I have to buy the thing. I have to buy a bundle tonight. As soon as we switch over to Genshin or something. Alright, chat. Survey time? Survey time? Who's... I don't really even want to do a bit. Oh my god, I'm in germs. What is EU doing? Yeah, I remember last time we got to 660 with S0, and right now, with the temperature jump, I don't think I can repeat that. Sogebu with 6S is only getting 650. So, can I even get to 611? Can I even catch up to where Raven is? I was watching Nil Hisri Mauled this morning, and it was pretty nasty. Like he was playing out of his mind, just barely getting to like 613 before he ran out of time, before he had to go to sleep to get ready for work the next day. What was the last temp last time around? 480. So on EU, it's 8 degrees higher. Yeah, on NA it's probably like also the same amount higher, but NA was also higher last time, right? NA was like 485 or 486, and now they're probably like still 495, 496. Something crazy. Well, this makes me feel a little bit tired. Like, I wanted to get more of these, but now we know that there's not gonna be, we're not gonna be using side type for Luna. What do we do now? Megumin, wait. Megumin already resubscribed. Why is my, is there a way I can refresh this? Reload. I'm gonna reload my... Thank you for the follow and or sub. Welcome. Vladan, thank you. I'm just trying to get rid of some of my Mirage tickets. Mirage attempts. Craft the second Willows. Actually, I kind of wouldn't mind having a second Ana. Because Ana was technically better on certain characters than Willows. It is, Super Grump. It is. Roll lightning damage. Yep. I think when we were on beta, Nefer was like 2 lines of attack and then 4 lines of lightning damage. So it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt. I hope your epic slots are ready. What server am I on? My main account is on EU. I used to maintain an alt on NA. I don't have the fortitude for that anymore. We played that account for like 3 years. All the way, even during Genshin, we played it up until HSR, and I was like, this is getting to be a lot. Yeah, and you know what's crazy, Lilo? They're making it now that they're making characters buff specific damage types instead of just elemental or, you know, like elemental damage matching, but they're also matching by like ignite and bleed damage. Like, we've already had that happen a little bit with Quicksand, but like they're ramping it up now where Skywalker Griseo is gonna buff Luna because of the bleed damage buff, but not a lightning damage buff. Yeah, I used to play an SCA account. I used to play 2 SCA accounts, but not concurrently. I used to play another NA account too, back in the day. Is it a small lightning damage buff, really? I'll have to rewatch what Marissa's video. All I saw in Marissa's video was like the damage comparison. Oh, was it total damage? Total damage makes more sense. Who do we drop from bleed teams now? Valkyrie Quicksand, I think. Riku. I think what happens now is, like, if you can full gear the new Griseo, you run Griseo, old Griseo, and then either HS or Rebirth. So this is the thing, right? Like, if you skipped Valkyrie Quicksand gear, you should try and roll Griseo gear. And if you still have Aladdin pieces, then that's still really good because Aladdin's just really strong. And of course, like, yeah, if it's a quantum boss, then you run VQ DPS with Griseo support. Yeah, Marissa said something about, like, she has a lot of high self-damage multipliers, so definitely a hybrid role. I'm guessing, like, yeah, on Stardust bosses, you're just gonna have her be the main DPS, and then, like, on Bleed bosses, she'll probably be main DPS, but then, like, as soon as it's Quantum boss, then you run VQ and you bring her as a support. And then if it's a Lightning boss that Luna's good at, you bring her as a support. Yeah, I hope everybody rolling for the Rebirth outfit gets it on the 5th floor. I know that requires quite a bit of luck to do so. Okay, let's do the survey. Oh, actually, we should take a quick break. I need to get some more water. I've finished drinking all my water. Well, not all my water, but most of my water. Be right back. All right, let's do this survey here. All right, chat. There we. The heck? Y'all hear that tire screech outside? Wow. Okay, 2 minutes to complete. 2 minutes to complete. I was satisfied. I like this patch. Yeah, let's see if we can keep it under keep it under 3 hours. It was definitely grindy. There was definitely lag. hit lag and all sorts of other lag. Gameplay is new and interesting. No, I don't need new and interesting. I need nostalgic and action-packed. There are more ways, and it's now easier to obtain character fragments. It's not. It's not easier. More bonuses and rewards are available. Kind of true. But it feels like more of the same. Old characters have been buffed and enhanced. I mean, kinda for the story, but that doesn't... I like the new character. I mean, Siren was okay. What outfits did we get this patch? Premiere, right? Premiere. The new outfits did look good. That's true. Hey, Poppy. Other. Chapter 40. Chapter 40 was good. I felt like the Terry event felt more grindy than it should have been. And then I did not really feel like doing the Fall Girls. I felt like Fall Girls was unnecessary. Didn't complete Chapter 40 yet? That's fine, you still have time. In-game time. Ooh. Spend more time? I mean, it's all a blur to me. I spend less time, well, no changes, I guess. How satisfied? I felt like the gap between S0 and S1 was very painful. I felt like the gap between S0 and S1 was very painful, but as soon as you get past S1, feels okay. I feel like she's a little bit slow though. I don't like the damage profile, if that makes sense. She doesn't do snappy damage. It's all like long casts, and a lot of the damage is tied to the follow-up at the end. So it's... I don't like the damage profile. Even though her design, her visual design is cool, her damage profile is not fun. Appearance is great. Combat controls is neutral. Hit feedback is okay. Special effects is okay. Battle performance, I'm not. I guess combat controls, I would say, is dissatisfied. Sound effects is great. And then finalization, yeah, I think sound effects we could even say... I feel like the special effects, though, is a little bit too much visuals. I guess this is fine, right? Yeah, story chapter 40, we finished everything. Very satisfied with chapter 40. Hub visuals I'm neutral about. The map, hub was okay if you clicked in on the thing. If you clicked in on the thing and you went to the other layout, it looked really good. The map was like whatever. Story writing quality, it was okay. Story presentation was the Fuhua, the Chick Phoenix was really cute. General combat experience felt really good because of course I'm playing Fuhua Battlesuit, so why wouldn't it be good? Playability was good. Grindiness, it wasn't too grindy. It was not too grindy. It was a very classic Honkai. Show up, do your 2 dailies, dip, or you know, every other day do 4. Appeal of the rewards. I feel like the rewards this time around wasn't that exciting. I felt like the Bronya Stigmata wasn't like... I feel like this Bronya Stigmata is too niche, right? Because historically, a lot of veteran players wouldn't need this stuff, but it would be good for free-to-play as a filler. And this one is like, it feels like it's good for free-to-play, but it's less good than previous Stigmata for event stuff. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The dissatisfaction primarily came from my inability to use my own Fuhuas. Like, no weapon actives and stuff. After the Blood Moon fades, we finished everything this past Saturday. I was satisfied, but I wish it was shorter. Um, the event rewards are nice. Story was interesting, but it was long. Gameplay wasn't that new, and it was not interesting. I felt like the puzzle, and I felt like it needed to be trimmed down a bit. I think there was a little bit too much for treasure hunting and puzzle solving. I think if they reduced everything by like 1/3 per map and reduced the map count by 1, I think I would have been happier. And then same thing, like instead of like there being 4 or 5 chapters to it, maybe they cut it down to like 3 to 4. I definitely had more fun playing Chapter 40 than the After the Blood Moon Fades, even though After the Blood Moon Fades is kind of like one of the flagship events for this patch because, you know, we get Luna next patch. Story writing was okay. Visuals looked good. Matrix map visuals, it was okay. Playability was okay. Freshness, no. Grindiness, dissatisfied. It felt really grindy to me. General difficulty was okay, and then appeal of the rewards was satisfied because the rewards definitely made me want to finish everything. Yeah, like they gave you the treasure radar after a certain level, which helped. But I do wish, like, after you finish all the main story and the side quests, they would just mark it on the map for you instead of making you, like, find your way to them. How much time you have left? You have 2 days on EU, Akame. Good luck if you're gonna try to do it all. At least finish the main story. I don't know if you'll be able to finish all the side quest loot. And that's one other thing I didn't like about After the Blood Moon Fades was that you had to do dailies to level up, but you couldn't get the rewards just from doing dailies. You had to do dailies and finish the storyline. And that felt really pressuring because, like, I had done dailies at least every other day, to the point where I had so much currency to level up, but I couldn't finish leveling up because I didn't finish the story. And it didn't help me get the outfit because I needed to finish the story in order to buy the outfit and the last bit of crystals. In-game time, probably 2 to 4 hours depending on whether you skip text or not. Map exploration, I would say dissatisfied. I felt like it was nice for the first 2 maps, and then I just kind of got tired of map exploration afterwards. A lot of it just felt filler. Well, my experience of controlling the chibi characters, dissatisfied. I had input overlap on controller, and it was not fun because there was no way to bind the right inputs. So I had to mix with mouse and keyboard. I think it wouldn't have been an issue on mobile because on mobile you just use the touch controls. But I definitely ran into an issue with controller because like my bind for interact was left on right on D-pad, which would cause my chibi to move to the right instead of unless I switch to walk mode maybe. Thank you for the lurk. I don't like it. The story was good, but it dragged too long, and exploration was too grindy and long. The puzzles were good, but too many. Did we say the dialogue was too long? drag too long, and dialogue was too long too. I like the characters of Captain Verse, but there was too much fluff. I wanted to complain about the level gates. To be honest, I kind of wish they went with a more traditional event style. How satisfied am I with Homu World Tour Rafting Championship? Neutral. Some of the maps were nice with the remix, but like, yeah, exactly. By the time you enter the castle, you're already tired. And that's how I felt too. I basically got to the castle, I finished the castle, and I basically took like a week and a half, didn't touch the story at all. Only did dailies for it. Is Siren considered range? I don't think she's considered range. I think she's just considered ignite damage. It's kind of like how Bleed is neither melee nor ranged. Yeah, I think I'm neutral on Homu World Tour. I like Hot on the Trail, but I feel like this time around, I was less excited about it. Elysian Realms 6.9, I mean, neutral / dissatisfied. It's because the Elysian Realm's boring to me. You do one run a week and then you're done, right? How satisfied am I with the new Battlesuit Miracle Magical Girl in the Elysian Realm? Can't remember. I think we did like maybe 1 or 2 runs on low difficulty. How much? I know it, but I'm not particularly interested in the movie. I'm interested in the movie, but I haven't seen the movie. But I thought the outfits were amazing. Have you signed up to play? Yes. Yes. I signed up to play on the CN. Okay, I get to have like a really good insight here because I've been in multiple test groups with Hoyoverse for this, for Honkai 3rd. The recruitment survey has too many questions. No, I don't think that one does. The recruitment notice used to be at the top, but isn't always at the top. Recruitment time is too short. It's easy to miss the deadline. Cupcake actually brought this one up because he said it was like, oh yeah, it was only like 3 days to sign up this time. Sometimes recruited players have experienced login issues. Yeah, Miracaps had login issues for the betas, for the test server. Community event, Siren's Magical Array. I can't remember. Was this a web event that we... No, if it's a community event, that means like you had to make a social media post. Vladan, thank you for hanging out. I hope you get good rest. Text quality in V6.9, neutral. We definitely saw some typos, but I don't remember any off the top of my head. But we definitely saw some typos in the story chapter and during the event. I don't even know if I read Stigma skill descriptions anymore. Low quality story writing. Ooh. Too much dialogue. I wanted to say something about the translations, but I'm worried I might be conflating it with HSR translations, because we were doing some of those where, like, if I hear a phrase in Chinese and the translation is like complete opposite of what they said, like, I point that out, right? Like, that happened. I think that happened during either the Poetry Slam, Windborn Poetry, or Aetherium Wars. There was definitely a couple of lines of dialogue where that happened, where like March is like, "No way" in Chinese, but in the translation, she's like, "Yeah." Should have done a recap. Yeah, I definitely feel like every time they release a Captainverse story event, they need to recap previously on Captainverse. Okay, tank. Yeah, I definitely saw typos in Blood Moon and Chapter 40. Also, there was that one line of dialogue in Chapter 40 where, like, there is nothing in the log and you can't replay it, and there's no subtitles. Open world is boring. Super String is okay, but, you know, pay to win. Mirage, dissatisfied. It needs a rework. Everything needs to be cheaper. More fuel. Dorm technically could use a rework. Well, Dorm is getting a rework next patch, so, you know. Q Manifold I haven't touched. Memorial Arena. Memorial Arena is kind of boring to me nowadays. Armada. Armada needs a rework. I think it's just these three. I don't really go on the Facebook nowadays for Honkai 3rd unless there's like specific artwork or stuff that I need to check. I guess I technically did go to the Facebook page to check some of the news posts they did. Honkai Impact 3rd's X account. Yeah, I guess I was on the X account. Ever since TweetDeck died, I've had a harder time following any other accounts on X. On Twitter. Twitter just sucks now. Yeah, they schedule some of these tweets. What I wish they would do is like they make that tweet a week ahead, and I wish they would actually just retweet themselves like the day of the maintenance, you know? It would make a lot of sense. Can't remember if I brought that up with staff or not, but I feel like I might have mentioned it to them, but I can't remember if I did. But I also didn't want to step on anybody's toes because it's not my job. It's not my AO. It's not my area of responsibility. I do feel like the in-game announcements have been getting lost compared to in the past. In-game purchase experience? No. Bundles in the mall offer things I need? No. Everything's too expensive. I never find... I never have the one... They always want They always want me to spend more. What other games have you played every week in the past month? Blue Archive! Goddess of Victory Nikke! Star Rail, Genshin, PGR players, where you at? Not me. Raid! Shadow Legends. Oh no. I gotta farm my Ultra Nightmare boss so I can get more Sacred Shards, you know? Alright. The usual, right? Alright. Hello. It is Fenris here. I love this game. Okay, woo! However, there are things that I would love to see addressed in this game. Make old BP outfits added to standard outfit shop. And rerun old outfits like Prodigal Girl. Foundry and Mirage desperately needs a rework. The whole system just feels terrible because of how many steps it takes, both from checking the activity shop to get the weekly time swirl passes and having Mirage pass limited at 6 limited at 6 to the rate of ether fuel. Fuel requirements need to be reduced and fuel gains need to be increased. Each floor of Mirage should have co-op enabled from the beginning, because new players need co-op to help sensei tasks and also to give their first time players. Making a solo clear the requirement to unlock co-op for this mode is complete backwards. All G1 to G3 Stigmata need to have crafting costs reduced by 50 to 75% in order to facilitate a healthy new player experience. There needs to be new bounty weapons added to Foundry, especially for weapon types that do not have bounty weapon option. I know we're kind of treading old ground because we've been making this complaint for a long time. Um, Chapter 40 was really fun and refreshing after the last 5 chapters of Honkai Impact 3rd main story, because it felt more like proper Honkai storytelling. Good pacing with dialogue and good balance of combat stages before and after the dialogue. The dailies felt really good to play, like and very low stress. Even the challenge mode felt good to do. Pity the new players who have to go through ER's 3 chapters. Yeah, true, but I mean, at least now you can use those, if you do ER a lot, you can use those currency thingies to skip through a lot of the stuff. After the Blood Moon fades was interesting at first, but quickly became too grindy, even for main story. I quickly lost interest after the 3rd or 4th part, and only forced myself to finish towards the end of the version. I hope future events can reach a better balance of story length and grind time. Story ending also felt a bit weak, especially considering past events with the ferryman. Yeah, like they built up the ferryman to be like such a big bad in a lot of ways, and then like you get there and he's like, I'm just gonna self-destruct. Good luck, Captain. Good luck, Captain. I believe in the me that believes in you. Because I stopped believing in myself. So I put my hopes and dreams to you, which is a past me, but you went a different way. I don't know. I mean, we kind of expected and suspected as much, right? Like that, oh, the ferryman was another instance of the captain, but like just the way that it panned out at the end felt a little bit underwhelming. I guess in a way I was expecting a showdown, like an actual proper showdown, but instead, like after we solve the puzzle and we save the 2 and then we go back to the bridge, the ferryman was just kind of like, he was already, we didn't have to defeat him, he defeated himself. In a way, it's like a fourth wall allegory of like all the captains who quit Honkai because they got burned out from Abyss and the direction of the game. Meanwhile, the captain that's still persisting is like those of us that stuck to the game, and we continue to maul no matter what. But you know, like in Sanka Saga, Ferryman was like, you play as the ferryman, right? And you're like, I got the keys. I got the keys to the. I have the solution.
想说就说，反正我也未必会听。
Felt like it. Yes and no. It was like he was trying to prepare his new self, but also trying to prevent you, the captain, from turning into him. Because he already feel like he failed, and he had already given up. It was almost like him trying to prevent one of them time loop paradoxes. But it felt so underwhelming when you get back to the bridge and he's like, I'm already dead. Story for the event was better than the chapter 40 in your opinion? It could have been better if they kept it shorter. But chapter 40 just had a better balance. And to be fair, chapter 40 is the first chapter in an arc, right? Whereas event story was the end of an arc. So the ending of an arc should have more weight to it. And it did feel like it did, which is part of why I was really interested to see the ending of the story arc. But I just felt like the final conclusion, it was just a bit underwhelming. And in some ways, it felt a little bit like, you know, mid-2010s fan servicey with how Luna was acting by the end of it. And like, yeah, it's supposed to be a bit corny, right? But like, I get it. That it's just how it's gonna be. So I didn't mind that as much, but I was expecting a bigger battle at the end, or at least a bigger fight. Chapter 40 had better dailies too. I felt like my favorite daily was the one where you got to play as Himiko, because that one was a straightforward fight daily. I felt like all the other dailies reminded me of like the old, you guys remember the Homu mini games? Like when you would play the coin mini game or the platformer mini game with Homu. Like before you sweeped everything with activity light. Remember actually playing the Homu mini games in Material? So some of those felt like that, and it was cool so it was like, you know, your first 5 times doing the dailies felt really fun. By the 10th time you're doing the Callan daily and you're just like, oh, there's the golden seed, the you know, the golden snitch. You just don't even bother trying to actually rush to it. You just like, oh, I'm too far, I'll just keep collecting blue stars. I just wish they would condense and make things more concise and just get back to a better balance of like story and action. Mini games are fine as long as they don't like overdo it, right? And I feel like for me this time was like, that's part of the reason I wasn't as excited with Homu World Tour. So Homu World Tour was neutral for me because I felt like it was too grindy to play again. The new maps and the updated old maps were refreshing but tiresome to learn. I still finished 5,000 points for the emblem and completed all the rewards, but it felt like too much to do. I feel like part of the reason High 3 struggles with even casual player retention, that there's too much to do in the game right now. it feels especially stressful at the end of a version. Right as the game overlaps with Genshin and Star Rail version updates, where a lot of Hoyoverse players are playing at least two games. Hot on the Trails. Hot on the Trails is one of my preferred events compared to Chip Space, but even this time around, it felt like a chore to complete. I still appreciate how easy it is to get full rewards and that it does not require stamina. I think they take all our survey reports and feed it to Trina. I don't know, Akame. Sometimes they do. I mean, to be fair, Nefer, they took Just 3C's Substar idea, and that video only had 13k views, right? In 2019, that video only had 13k views, and they pulled that idea. So you never know. You never know what they're looking at. That idea had a direct impact on... Yeah, because you can sell Substars. But you know what else would have a direct impact on their profits? Actually getting players to stay in Honkai 3rd rather than, like, they start up and then they quit after 2 versions because it's too much. Which, like, to be honest, when I watched Just 3C's video on the problems of Honkai, I agree. Even though they've optimized the gacha a bit, the gacha still feels bad in this game. No 50-50, that's true, but man, like, it feels really bad sometimes where, like, all the A ranks in the pool suck. Battlesuit fragments for the supply shop are completely inefficient for anything that a progression account could make use of, you know?
总感觉最近好像有点胖了。
Yeah, it's an ongoing meme because, like, in a lot of ways, MiHoYo is kind of like a Blizzard in their own right? Like, pre-Activision merger Blizzard, where Honkai 3rd is basically like the StarCraft Brood War / Warcraft 3, where it got them the critical acclaim and the funds to work on their cash cow, which is Genshin. And then Genshin blew up because of all the circumstances in the way that World of Warcraft blew up for Blizzard. And then they were forced to scale up. Now, at least fortunately in MiHoYo's case was like they failed their IPO, and they've been able, as a result of failing their IPO, it actually worked out for them, because now they don't need to be, you know, holden to a board of directors or anything. Like, at least they retain their autonomy and stuff. Heard from GI players say that High 3 is hard to live stream. Yeah, because the only thing, if you're not already in the community mauling Abyss and MA all the time, the only thing to stream is the story, and the story can be really exhausting. But yeah, like on Steak and Eggs, Tectone said to Asmon, like, he's like, yeah, once part 2 comes out, I'll stream the story. And, like, you know, whatever your opinion about him, he has a following, and he can definitely influence. He can definitely influence. So, yeah, the trade-off for not having a 50-50 is the expensive single pull. Yep. Yep. And instead of rolling for just the weapon, you have to roll weapon and 3 pieces of gear. And if you don't get everything on the release banner, then the next time it comes back, like, you know, the banner doesn't remember which pieces you have, so you basically have to restart from 0, which also feels really bad. Twitch seems to be lagging behind the YouTube stream. That's because the Twitch chat is set on a 2-second delay. The Twitch chat overlay is on a 2-second delay. The VN style and main story that most people don't get used to it. I mean, if you think about it, Genshin is technically also visual novel style because of how much dialogue there is. And that's what like people complain about is like there's too much dialogue, there's too much filler dialogue. But it's because Genshin is literally a voiced visual novel. Twitch seems to be late. I wonder if it's because I set YouTube to ultra low latency for the stream on YouTube, and then on Twitch it might not be set to ultra low latency. So, I think the ways to improve Hot on the Trails is, like, just have everybody start at level 5. Just have everybody start at level 5 and give everybody more Trial Valkyries per stage. But if you think about it, it is kind of like the Genshin combat events, right? Where like you can do the 3rd difficulty to start, and then you have to clear that one in order to unlock the 4th difficulty. And the 4th difficulty is just a flex for yourself and not actually for rewards. Or like you get like a little bit more crafting mats that don't mean anything, you know? That's a good point too, Pyroraptor. Let's add that. Also, please give the Trial Valkyries fully upgraded gear. It's already... The gear difference between a captain's own battle suit will come from the affix difference. Players in the community have mentioned that the trial level 40 stigmata. Okay, what are some other beeper issues? As a longtime captain, the S rank battle suit sub-star rank up situation has gotten worse in the last 2 years. Lately, the pressure to get rank ups is becoming worse. a way that has caused notable players in the top 100 to quit spending in game. It has also made the battlesuit design lazy in that S0 Valkyries. I'll put a period here. S0 Valkyries feel incomplete. S1 and S2 it just it just makes getting to S0 already feel like a waste of time, right? You spend 100 crystals just to get to S0 and you're playing half a Valkyrie. It just feels bad. Feels really bad. Yeah, I feel like the Substar system itself isn't that bad, right? And even when Just 3C originally pitched it, the first examples were for A ranks. That's so cope though. I mean, you look at even now though, like SP A rank Valkyries, because they don't release A ranks anymore. SP A rank Valkyries still don't get anything from Substars until, like, they still don't get any benefit from Substars. S1 is just so useless. You know, it didn't used to be that way. Remember when HOS released and they added the system? S1 was huge for HOS and HOV at the time because they moved the critical upgrade from that used to be a double S upgrade from HOV into the S1 slot. So that was awesome. S1 and S3 were really important upgrades for HOV. And then S1 for HOS was important because that let you clear the shield on Parvati. You remember, right? But on the first iteration, they put the leader skill on S2, and then afterwards they moved leader skill from S2 to S3. I don't know. It's not always the case where S1 feels useless because we've historically had Valkyries where the damage increase on S1 was very significant. Like HFS, for instance, S1 was a huge boost for damage, whereas the S2 didn't do anything because S2 was just SP regen. It does do something, but like you only really feel it on certain fights that go long, and you actually need the SP regen, right? Akame, Horb's Rebirths is on S2. Yeah, Siren is an example where like S1 is like the break point. I'm getting mad echo on somewhere. You guys hear an echo on my stream? Maybe it's just because I have like 2 windows open on the side. Hold up. Yeah, it just feels bad now, right? Like, I think back in 2022 I let it go. But you guys remember Equinox? Equinox S2? If that was in 2021, that S2 skill would have been a triple S skill, or at least like SS2, right? The starting SP, because you look at HOS on back in 2021, starting SP was so broken, but it was reserved at triple S. And I felt like that was well deserved because you pay that premium and you get this really broken ability. I don't know. I mean, at this point, like all I can do is complain about it because they're probably less inclined to revert this change. Don't know how good PE on non-imaginary boss enemy. Well, it depends on your bracket. It depends on your tier of Abyss, Efri. Like, if you don't have PE, if you don't have Dreamweaver, then yeah, I would still use PE. We cleared Bloodbane Nirvana on NA on my F2P back in 6.6 or 6.7 using Equinox. Yeah, I want them to change it for the better, but sadly, the only way to make it better is like they have to scale back their desire to monetize off of the S ranks a little bit. I guess for me, it's like my focus on Honkai 3rd is player retention and growing the base. And none of that is happening with the way things have been, because the way things have been so focused on monetizing, right? Yeah, that happened before too. Like, they did that exact same thing. So Joker, you said like Holmes is farmable 2 patches after the battle pass, right? But it'll still be in Vintage Shop next patch. They did that with Margrave too last year, where like Margrave was in BP at the end of 2021 going into 2022, and then like 2 patches after it was in BP they added it to Foundry. Or like in my case, I bought Darkstar for collection, and then today when I was watching Marissa's overview of 7.1 V1, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, HFS stamps in ER. I was like, well crap, I could have gotten SS1. I still might be able to get SS1 with the supply shop, but like, you know, it's those types of things. Yeah. But yeah, like the flip side is that, you know, because you bought Holmes with Crystallum, now you save ether fuel. And then you can use that ether fuel to fill another gap that you may or may not have. Yeah, hold BP currency till the end of patches is generally a good idea. Like, cause BP goes all the way until the Sunday after maintenance. The only thing that you need to decide is like whether or not you want to go ahead and get the stamps. Because if you want to get the stamps, you should definitely get the stamps sooner rather than later. But yeah, I definitely feel like MiHoYo should emphasize smaller upgrades for S1 and S2. Like, I don't mind if S1 and S2 is just more damage, right? More damage. But don't make it a mechanical change where it's like more SP or starting SP or extra charge of this. I think that's when things get like really messed up, is when it's not just more damage, it's just there's a huge mechanical creep. The other thing too is that like lately I've been encountering situations where the Essentine is starting to backfire. Because remember on the old version, like, it was easier to get fragments here and there when you were pulling. After you had, well, yes and no. I think on the old system it was easier to get like 1s and 2s when you were like really close. But on the new system it's like you're more guaranteed to get fragments on the way to your first card. Which makes it easier for the substars. Yeah, exactly. At least you get Essentine right away. You don't have to wait for the first card. I guess the system is like probably as balanced as it gets for now. Because like there's definitely been scenarios where having the Essentine system has helped me, and then there's been scenarios where it's like, oh, I just need like 1 or 2 more fragments. You know, I just need 1 or 2 more fragments, and then like with the Essentine system, suddenly I have to do like 20 more pulls. And then like right when you're on the last fragment, you get another card. Will there be a rerun for Vow of Roses? I have no idea. I have no idea. I feel like we can go back to the outfit thing and say like, rerun more old pyramid outfits with discount, please. So one semi-positive though is that some of the battlesuit design, some, not all, some of the battlesuit design now is trending where the weapon active is baked into the kit. Like Luna and HTR, right? Like yes, your weapon still plays a huge role mechanically, but at least like the core function of the weapon is now baked into the Valkyrie, and like whatever you equip is by default just a stat stick. But it also hurts in a way because like it limits your ability to take advantage of older gear passives, right? Like you couldn't use Crusher 19C beyond its passive. You couldn't actually use the weapon active to freeze or get like extra hits. S0 probably good. I would even go so far as to say it's still good enough for Red Lotus, but it still feels bad. You know, it still feels bad. Just because it's good enough doesn't, like, just because it's good at, like, that's like saying S0 Dea is good enough, right? Like, yeah, it's good enough, but the kit design was so lazy. And even S1 Dea, like we've done a lot of stuff here on this stream, and I know like some of you in the chat who are Dea players, like you've done a lot to make her playable, but like you shouldn't have to, right? S ranks and 5 stars should be good out of the box. Because otherwise you might as well just call them an A rank or an SP A rank or a 4 star.
你是有什么意见吗？ 没关系，想说就说。
S0 full set is
反正
considered
会有威力
budget in Nirvana. Like low budget, yeah. Ryosley moment. I thought, well, Risley's. I don't know. I haven't seen all the stuff about Risley's like theory craft and stuff, but I saw Braxophone clear Abyss just fine with Risley. I would say in general, Lilo. One of his passes, basically. I mean, yeah, it's a Dea moment, right? Like, I felt, but see, at least Risley at C0 in the trial stage felt really good to play. I couldn't say the same about Dea in the trial stage. I would definitely put that as like, it's like a Fushuan moment, right? Fushuan's base kit feels complete, but if you get E1 for Fushuan in Star Rail, she just becomes that much better because now she, in addition to crit rate, she provides crit damage. And that's awesome. More is more. But at least in the case of Risley and Dea, like the C1 is a passive. So like mechanically, you just do more, but your functional, like mechanical kit is more or less the same. That or make S2 something workable towards. Yeah, like if they released a battle suit at S0 and then like instantly in the same patch, in the second half of the patch and the following patch, they add the stamps to get to S2 in Elysian Realm right away, I think that people would feel less bad about it. But then like that means anybody who pulls will have S2. Imagine if Golden Witch Orbs contributed to all fragments of all Valks. You know, Blue Archive actually has that system, right? Where you can use your, whatchamacallit, the Eligmas. You can use the Eligmas. Like, once you get a character, you can just use the Eligmas to just buy fragments. And then, like, there's diminishing returns because, like, once you get to every breakpoint, the cost goes up. But that's just another form of, like, personal progression. Alternative personal progression. Ligmas? E-Ligmas. Well, see, here's the thing though, Akame, is like the fundamental part about any like PvP gacha is like you have to have the pay to win. Because if F2P can compete too easily, then what's the point of spending? That's the counter argument. My argument in favor of F2P and low budget is like, you need to make it feel somewhat attainable still so that people don't just like outright give up and quit. You know, back before the rank up system, like, it didn't feel bad getting completely obliterated by someone who just had more ranks than you because you knew, like, okay, well, yeah, they have more ranks than me. Of course they're gonna do more damage. But I can still make the most of what I have. And now with the substars, they don't even show the substars on the loadouts. Like, you look at a run, it's like, well, do they have S2 Rebirth? Or am I just bad? Or both. Or both. Maybe I'm bad and they have S2 Rebirth, because we've definitely seen that in the last 3 weeks too. Well, that's how the system in Blue Archive works, right? Like, your first substar would be like, I don't know, 100 of the currency, but then your next substar costs 200 of the currency. And then the next substar costs, you know, each fragment costs, you know, 3 times as much. and then the last one costs like 5 times as much type of thing. So like there is a way to scale it. But I honestly don't mind that they time gate certain things in Honkai 3rd. I just wish that, like, yeah, sure, it'd be awesome if they adopt a similar system. But all I want, at least to start with, is I just want S0 to be functionally complete. What does that mean? Like, Dreamweaver, for instance, at S0 is functionally complete, and then at Triple S, you get that added, like, luxury bonus. Right? HOS at S0 is functionally complete. S1 gives you more damage to get past a certain threshold. That's fine, but you still have, like, it's not that big of a leap, right? You get more damage, sure, but it's not that big of a leap over S0 in long fights. Give 200 with pull gotcha character. Yeah, I don't know. I never played Prycon, so I wouldn't be able to say. But like, I know Blue Archive gives you bonus when you bonus currency to buy the fragments after you pull the character too. I feel like the gotcha definitely needs a rework in Honkai 3rd to make it more like new player friendly and low spender friendly. But again, I just want S0 to feel complete, you know, like there are examples from Honkai's history, especially the year 1 and early year 2 Valks that were like also incomplete until double S. Like, oh, you need to get Phoenix to double S. Oh, you need to get Shadow Knight to double S. I remember those days. Like, oh, you need to get Lightning Empress to triple S. Oh, Night Moonbeam's useless until triple S. But at least those battle suits were made farmable within reason, right? Shadow Knight was a weird one because she was farmable for one patch only, and then they made her not farmable. And then it was like, So, the Dorm rework in 7.0 is a step in the right direction for the legacy battle suits. But S0 should feel good to play, especially with new S0 Valkyries. Yeah. Characters just need to become farmable faster. Yes, that's also true. Characters need to be farmable faster. Things need to get added to Battle Pass sooner and not when they're like one version away from getting added to Foundry. That's another complaint. I remember Fragile had that one very specifically. Like, we can go back to the Foundry paragraph, right? Gear from 1 year ago needs to get added to Battle Pass and sooner than 2 versions before they become available to craft in Foundry. It felt really bad for players who acquired Margrave from BP only to find out that it was craftable in Foundry 1 patch later. The same goes right now for Holmes' set. Holmes... Now, correct me if I'm wrong, was Holmes in a previous Battle Pass before? I feel like the current Holmes set is a rerun, isn't it? I miss the Augment Core system. I kind of miss it, but they had a hard time balancing it. S2 who feels garbage to play. S2 is technically feature complete. I remember Fragile had a bit of a discussion about how S2 already has like all the like necessary buffs. But see, here's the thing, right? S0 HT is already feature complete. And even after Seven Thunders, the final like luxury bonus was getting the extra Shinzen Strike at Triple S. How old is Holmes again? Holmes is the beginning of 2021. Holmes came out in the same patch as the Evangelion collab. So Evangelion collab had the children's set, later rebranded as Columbus, and then Darkstar and Holmes was released as a standalone gear banner. Yeah, as soon as SP Volks become power crept. I feel like as soon as an SP Volk hits the 1 year mark, their gear needs to just get added to Battle Pass right away. Yeah, I know, right? Says on B. Like, you can definitely survive without it, but definitely the longer that you play, like, coping with filler gear feels less and less good over time. Now that's kind of a deep issue, and I feel like we're kind of going long now on this survey. We probably at the 1.5 to 2 hour mark, right? Any last thoughts, chat? How do you guys feel about MA and Abyss right now? You feel like MA and Abyss? You guys feel like boss design is too niche? One of the videos I was watching the other night was complaining about how, like, the boss design is like hit or miss, where like some bosses are like really well balanced for multiple types of teams, and then you have bosses that are like overtuned for that one niche character that solves the one thing. Feels really bad skipping anything ever. Yeah, you know, and that's the part that is a bit weird, because back in 2020, I would easily skip things and like still have a backup option, right? And I feel like Genshin and Star Rail still has that aspect, but because the direction of the power creep in Honkai 3rd is so linear, it really does feel bad to skip anything. Dorm chibi activities. Yeah. Dorm chibi chibi dorm could have some single player mini games, or Armada could use Armada feature could also use an update, perhaps also Valkyrie chibi. Perhaps also using Valkyrie chibis. Tell them to power creep. They will power creeper, but just be careful they don't monkey paw you by releasing another battle suit that's so OP that you're like, oh, we need to pull 2 sets of her gear. And then she does this one really annoying thing that, you know, you can't use her with the previous Valkyrie for whatever reason. That, cause like, man, playing Aichan over a Raven feels so annoying when Aichan juggles the targets so far into the sky that the DPS of choice that you're trying to play can't even hit the target. Yeah. Abyss MA boss design philosophy should try to steer away from specific type and type mechanics and niche mechanics. Well, part of the fun of High 3 endgame was always solving alternative methods to clear the boss, apart from the latest released Valkyrie. This is a complaint going all the way back to the Rhymestar days, where if you did not have the latest suit, your score has suffered. Yeah, there should be a gap in, but see, here's the thing, right? Like, how do they? That could be an instance where, like, in their defense, it's extremely complicated to balance tune, because if they make it too close to the alternative strat, then people will say like, oh, why pull for the new thing? But if the gap is too wide, then yeah, people will just get upset and tired and burnt out. Yes. The newest of all, Valkyrie should be the best solution, but there should be alternative mechanics with the boss to allow alternative teams. I think my favorite example would be like against Imaginary, right? Like if you didn't have Equinox at the time of Equinox's release, at least you could fall back to playing Flame Scion with Raven. Or like if they release Kira, then you know maybe what they should have done was like have it where Prometheus also had a method to deal with the black HP bar. Is anybody playing not Trio on Red Lotus Kevin this cycle? And if so, like, what has your experience with that been so far? Yeah, this is a weird topic to get into because like, yeah, I still want the boss to be challenging. But I don't want the boss to be so challenging that it becomes too gatekeepy. And I feel like buff mode sometimes just doesn't do enough to make the experience like withstandable, you know? 500 in Red Lotus without trio. 500 is good enough. It's like, what's the average trio team doing in Red Lotus? 700? $640 with S0 and some missing pieces. Yeah. Okay, so 500's not that far off. I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this. Honkai bosses are not even hard. No, they're not. But it shouldn't make the experience feel bad to play the boss. Like, if you play a boss and you do a proper rotation, even if it's like a lazier rotation that you don't have to mold for like frame perfect timings and stuff, it should feel fun to play, right? Like if I look at HOS and Cruising Tribunal, those are fun rotations to execute. You know, when I play Mono Pyro Dea against the Toxic Seahorse, that's a fun rotation to execute. You know, what's not a fun rotation to execute is when there's a boss that has like a really annoying hitbox, or like, I don't know, Susang in Abyss where she staggers you. Any of the fights where you get staggered. Any of the fights where you have to RNG the hitbox because your attacks can miss and then suddenly you're short damage. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you don't want to be resetting on fights. You'd rather play the rest of the game. Wait, can you rephrase that, Kurai? I prefer getting PRLs because no evasion over a very niche mechanic, not gonna lie. Alright, last thoughts? Any last thoughts here? We might be hitting the character limit. And I need to open up a new text file. So we can copy paste this into Discord. .9 survey. Overall, I'm still cautiously optimistic for Impact Thirds continued progression as a live service game. I know everything cannot always be perfect. That's somebody. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you're on some level, you still want the account to be maintained, but like you're burnt out on certain aspects of the game. Is that accurate, Joker? I feel like a lot of players are overlapping in that sense. Rather be paralyzed or stopped due to lack of evasion than simply not being able to clear. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, you get punished by an artificial score loss where like you lose control rather than like you can't clear a boss mechanic, and thus like the fight basically comes to a standstill and you can't do anything. Yeah, and Kira, it's weird the disparity where like VQ was just really good out of the box, even at A rank, right? Prometheus was also like more usable than Kira was at lower ranks, and then Kira was like, without double S, just feels bad to play. At least she's farmable, so you can eventually get to double S. It just feels really rough before then. Kind of like Siren before S1. Like, yeah, you can eventually get to S1, but it just feels really bad to play. Like, I saved up all this willpower and legacy, and you give me a 3/4 of a Valkyrie. You know? Okay, I think that's gonna be it. You guys can add your own like last paragraph or whatever, but I'll post this into the into my Discord for people who want to copy paste. Just make sure you change the homework a little bit, you know. I'll just say optimistic. All right, send it. Let me post this into the Discord. Yeah, I see that the Bronya figure is now up for pre-order in the major outlets. I don't think I can afford any more statues. I still need to pay for shipping for the Star Rail Himiko merch that I ordered. I got the notice from Superbuy. Your merch has been here in the warehouse for over 30 days.
哇，总感觉最近好像有点胖了，一定是错觉吧？不，不要总盯着我看呐，笨蛋！
Alright, end survey. Should we make a separate VOD for the survey on YouTube or just tell people to just check the live stream? 200 crystals, woo! Did I get my HOF figure? No, it's coming tomorrow, I think. I think it was supposed to come today and then they pushed it back to tomorrow. Oh, yeah, Warcraft Rumble. Warcraft Rumble. Yeah, let me track my package here. Yeah, tomorrow. It'll be here tomorrow. Like today when I checked the update, it was still one state over. It's all good though. I'm not in a rush. Holy crystals. Yeah, we grinded for this. We grinded for this. We'll probably do Abyss tomorrow. Let's go clean out the event shop. Wait, am I in Lydia's bracket? Hold up. No, I'm not. I'm in Germ's bracket though. Oh, Seraphim's in my bracket. Oh no. Oh no, Seraphim. I haven't seen him in a bit. Oh, Def Dep's in this lobby too. Oh boy. I'll be lucky to make it out alive in like 5th place or something. Okay, boo. Okay, boo. Raven. 595. Oh man, that doesn't inspire hope for me. Let's go clean out the event shop now that we've hit 500. Hold on, I have to click on this. And when I say clean out the event shop, I mean just buy more coins. Oh boy. Oh boy. One day I woke up and I had so many AE Imaginons. I think I might try and upgrade my Surtur. Priarm it, so that next time we do Blood Rose Showcase we can actually play Surtur Blood Rose instead of not Surtur. 7.0 has spending event? Yes. 7.0 has spending event. Afri, you're on SCA. It's anniversary patch. You should have all your you should have a 7-day login for 10 cards and stuff and a stigmata. Alright, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna end the YouTube side and then we'll switch gears. I'll restart the YouTube side for Genshin because we need to do the poetry thing. We need to finish Ethereum Wars in Star Rail. So I'll probably have to cut like multiple YouTube things. Hey Railgun, how's it going? Is that the same Zen that hangs out with us in Twitch? Or actually different Zen? Ah, nice. Well, I am multi-streaming, dual simulcasting as often as possible. But for now, I need to take a break. So I'm gonna end the YouTube side and we'll restart the YouTube so we can archive the other stuff. Thanks everybody for hanging out on both channels. I'll BRB. Oh yeah, we did keep it under 2 hours because we played like Fall Girls for like the first 15 to 30 minutes, right? Easy. I like how YouTube wants me to monetize the YouTube stream too. Monetization off. Turn on to enable ads. Oh no. Edge. Okay, YouTube side, I will be back in 15-20 minutes. Twitch, I will leave the Twitch stream on while we switch categories and get set up for the next thing.